What's going on, everybody? All right, so I wanted to talk about something. So y'all know I had to drop my truck off, and of course I had to get a ride back home to do that because my local dealership is actually in about an hour away. So I had to get a ride back home, and my dad actually followed me up there, and then I drove his truck back because he's 83 years old. And he don't exactly like driving on 4 lanes and stuff like that, you know, for to help somebody out, to help me out, going up there. He didn't care to do it. But when we was both coming back, he let me drive back. And he has about a 2013 or 14 Silverado. And my truck's a 16, so my truck's a year and a half, 2 years newer, something like that. But I'm not comparing my truck to like a new Silverado, and I'm not comparing a new Tundra to a Silverado. I wanted to keep it more apples to apples. And within a year or two of being made, I feel like that's an apples to apples comparison. And there was one thing that I noticed driving that Silverado that this Tundra is way better at. Way better. I do want to first say that the brakes on my Tundra do have a little bit of a shimmy. I've got 40,784 miles on this truck as I'm shooting this video. And my rotors are a little bit warped where I've used them so much, and they need to be turned. And my brake pads, I think, had like, I don't remember it. They're about due to. And within the next couple months, I'll probably have brakes put on this truck. But on the way home, somebody like slammed on their brakes in front of me, and I had to slam on the brakes in his truck. And I didn't think we were going to get stopped. I was like, man, this thing slows down. It don't stop. Now I understand these are heavy trucks. Mine's a heavy truck too, you know. I mean, both trucks, if I'm not mistaken, I actually believe that the Tundra may even be heavier. I'll look that up and try to note that right here somewhere down at the bottom or across the middle or something, and note the difference of the weights of the two trucks. But I believe the Tundra is a little bit heavier, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I believe it is. But when I hit the brakes in this truck, in this Tundra, it stops. I mean, it like throws you forward. And when I hit the brakes in his, I noticed they weren't as good at stopping. Now, he has I forget how many miles he has on his truck. It's a few more than mine, but he drives a lot slower than I do, so brake are probably comparable. His rotors felt like they were a little warped too, and it was, probably about time for brakes on his truck, just like it is mine. So the brakes were probably comparable in how far along they were and wear. But I couldn't believe it. I mean, I really couldn't. I expected more. Like I said, whenever they just locked it down here, if you've ever driven in Tennessee, people just lock it down for no reason, man, and then don't even turn off. They just keep on going. I'm like, well, what in the world is going on? And if something like that kind of happened, somebody just kind of locked it down, nobody turned off or anything, they just locked it down and stopped and then just pulled on out and kept going. I don't get it. But I was actually getting a little worried because I didn't think the truck was going to get stopped. And as soon as I got back in my truck, the next day or 3 days later, it wasn't even the next day, it was like 2 or 3 days later. But there in return, I drove his up to get my truck, and then he drove it back because he took me up there to get my truck as well. Immediately when I got my truck, I could tell how much better the brakes were in this Tundra than his Silverado. And like I said, it just really amazed me that there was actually that much difference between the two vehicles braking wise. Now I know the Tundra has huge brakes on it, and they designed it that way on purpose to stop this big truck. But you would also think that other truck manufacturers would do the same thing because, like I said, both trucks are pretty heavy. So you would think both manufacturers would adequately design their brakes to stop on as fast as they possibly could for these big vehicles, because it takes longer to stop a vehicle this size than it does, like, let's say, a Honda Civic. So, But that amazed me. And I want to get on here and just tell y'all about that and tell you that the brakes in the Tundra are definitely better than the brakes in the Silverado. So if that's something you're thinking about when you're looking to purchase a vehicle, is the stopping power, if you're towing or something like that and you want stopping power, the Tundra's brakes are better. Let me know what you think in the comment section. What vehicles have you driven that the brakes are better in your Tundra than the other vehicles. I appreciate y'all watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.